You're watching the American Conference on ESPN on a perfect October Saturday in Annapolis, Maryland, with all the pomp and circumstance of the Naval Academy. A football game here is a special experience. And today, the number 2 ranked team in the country, the Cincinnati Bearcats, on the road to take on the midshipmen of Navy. Hi, everybody. Dave Fleming, Rod Gilmore, Stormy Bonatoni. Great to have you with us. And, Rod, I think a treat for us in that we get to see one of the great stories so far this year in the sport. The number 2 ranked team in the country, Cincinnati, has been playing like it.
Well, I'm excited. I mean, we have new blood to talk about in terms of reaching the playoff. And it's legitimate. I mean, Cincinnati is sitting at number 2, and they look great. But the challenge that comes along with that is that you need to be dominant when you play a team with a losing record. It's about style points. They've showed that the last couple of weeks. They need that today.
Yeah, they're the only team in the country that's won every game by 10 or more points. It's the highest ranking in school history. They've been playing football at Cincinnati since 1885. And Luke Fickell's team looks legit. But you're right. A big challenge to stay looking that way. And meanwhile, for Ken Niumatalolo, all the success that he's had here in Annapolis, this is the first time Navy's hosted a top 5 team since 1984. They won that game. And Coach Niumatalolo and his midshipmen could use a victory because this has been one of the tougher seasons that he's had. And the kickoff, the Bearcats will bring it out. It was a short kick, and that's going to be pretty good field position for Cincinnati as they take the field for the first time. And for our first time this afternoon, we'll say hi to Stormy Bonatoni.
Well, Dave, the last time this Cincinnati team was here in Annapolis, it was Luke Fickell's first year, 2017, and he told us it's something he'll never forget because not only did the midshipmen win, but they nearly had a school record for rushing, 572 yards on the ground. And for a defensive-minded coach like Luke Fickell, that's something he said stuck out, and they feel like they have something to prove every time they play Navy. And good to note, 2018, the next time they played Navy, a 42-0 shutout. I'm sure they'd like a repeat. Yeah,
they did improve, and the first play from scrimmage today for the Bearcats and their offense is a completion out on the left side to Tyler Scott. Desmond Ritter, who is about as accomplished, Rod, as any quarterback in college football, the senior who's won a ton of games in his Bearcats career.
How do you go from being a 2-star recruit to a guy who is in the running for the Heisman and likely going to be a first-round pick?
That's a good question. Ritter slings that one incomplete, trying to find his top playmaker, Alec Pierce, across the middle.
There is a message to folks out there: never give up on your dreams. Chase them, because a guy who was a 2-star, nobody really chased an awful lot, is on the threshold of some huge things.
I mean, he's won 36 games, the most active wins of any player in college football. Quarterback, 8,000 passing yards plus 1,900 rush yards. Great dual threat quarterback. Plus he's a dad. He's got a beautiful family. He's got a dog. Navy stacks up Cincinnati on 3rd and short. That was Jarius Ward, who's been playing pretty well. It's 4th down, and we'll see what the Bearcats want to do. I think they're sending the punt team out.
A little surprising start. You want to be dominant to open the game if you are Cincinnati. When you play an option team, you want to get out fast. You want to get up 2 or 3 scores and take them out of the slow, patient, long drive game that they want to play.
So that's a heck of a start for a midshipman defense that really has not been playing all that well. Mason Fletcher, the punter for Cincinnati. Chance Warren deep to receive for Navy. It's a shorter punt and a fair catch signal right about the 16-17 yard line. So Navy gets the stop, and now their offense will take the field. And Ty Lavatai, who is just a sophomore, it's his first year as the starter for this complicated triple option style offense that Ken Niumatalolo likes to run. Ty, this will only be his 4th career start. He was not an option quarterback in high school. He was a scout team QB last year as he learned the system. He was hurt in the opener against Marshall, so he hasn't played even a lot this season. They think he's got a great future in this offense, but he's still very inexperienced.
Yeah, he's still learning to make the reads. He is a bigger option quarterback than you normally see. About 6'2", 210, 215 pounds.
And he'll pitch it on the first play from scrimmage. The Bearcats tackle Carlinos Acey for a loss of a couple yards, and of course a huge challenge for Ty and for the Navy offense up against one of the best defenses in college football.
You know, people talk about Georgia and Clemson, and rightfully so. This Cincinnati defense is really good. They are fast, athletic, big where they need to be. They can chase you down. It is hard to run outside on them.
So 2nd and long, not where Navy likes to be. They give this time to the fullback straight ahead, sort of the bread and butter play in the triple option. That's James Harris.
I talk about the front for Cincinnati. They are a big crew up front. Probably the best player up front for them is Myjai Sanders, 6'5", 255, getting an awful lot of attention from the scouts. He's a guy who can really run. He can be disruptive.
And those numbers that we just saw, you mentioned the two teams ahead of him in scoring defense, Georgia and Clemson. The pitch play, that's going to be stopped short of a first down. So Navy runs the ball on 3rd and long. Now Navy, maybe more than any team in the country, likes to be aggressive on 4th down, but this one a little too much to ask in their own territory. So the punt team's coming out.
Yeah, their philosophy is, generally speaking, be aggressive, or as they like to say, swing the sword. Go after it. But this one, too soon, too far back in their own territory.
It's not really about analytics or numbers going forward for 4th down. It's a tone setter for the way the Navy wants to play. But 2 3-and-outs to start this game. A low bouncing punt is going to be fielded around the 35, and that is returnable all the way out close to midfield by Ryan Montgomery. So Cincinnati's defense gets the stop. The Bearcats offense will have good field position when we come back to Annapolis. No score, still very early. What a year for the best team in the American so far. The number 2 ranked team in the country, the Cincinnati Bearcats, who just have been outstanding in about every phase. And it's not just a one-year deal. 6-0 start 3 times in the last 5 seasons. Highest ranking in school history, American Conference history. Cincinnati got their first win on the road in program history against a top 10 team. Number 9 Notre Dame, that landmark win, which has set the stage for what could be a very special year. Bearcats get the ball back, starting in midfield, 2nd time they've had it early in this one.
That history makes them different than any other group of 5 team that's been considered for a playoff spot.
That pass was dropped on 1st down, right through the hands of Alec Pierce, who's been playing so well.
You think about what they've done. They earned the respect of the committee by finishing in the top 10 last season. They started this season in the top 10. And so the credibility has been there over the last couple of seasons. So they probably have the best shot that we've ever seen for a group of 5 team to make it to the playoff.
Yeah, totally agree with that. It's not just a one-year thing. This has been a build-up for Luke Fickell and his program. They haven't lost a regular season game in the last 2 seasons, but they commit a penalty here. Leonard Taylor, the tight end, I think he moved.
5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
But let's not get it twisted. Just because they're off to a great start and could go undefeated, that does not mean that they will automatically get in. There's still an awful lot of work to do, and I think they're going to need some help. They're going to need help from Notre Dame. Notre Dame's got to play well, and heaven help them if 2 teams from the SEC wind up in the playoff.
So 2nd down and long. Ritter's got all kinds of time in the pocket. He's going to throw it deep and incomplete. Stormy?
Well, you know, something that they as a team talk about a lot, though, is just controlling the controllables. And Luke Fickell reminds his players all the time, just of the struggles of that first season. You guys talk about the growth, but how far they've come. And he wants it fresh in everybody's minds, a reminder to stay hungry and stay humble. That's the message that he gives these guys day in and day out.
A lot of coach speak, right? Because you know, family and friends are in the players' ears all the time about how special this season can be. They're hearing it and they're reading it.
3rd and 15. Well, pressure comes. Ritter will step up. Got hit as he throws, and it was almost intercepted. Almost picked off. His pass was high, and Mikey McMorris nearly picked it off. That is the second straight stop for this Navy defense.
Yeah, and you know, the scouts love Ritter. We love Ritter. The only kind of criticism you hear about him is just the accuracy on the intermediate and some deep balls. Now, that one was almost picked, but he was under duress that time. But we will watch that the rest of the game and see how his accuracy is down the field.
He started today 1 for 5. The Navy's defense looks spry in the early minutes. So 4th down, second punt already for the Bearcats. No fair catch signal this time. And a little bit of a return set up along the sideline for Chance Warren. Well, I believe the midshipmen have come to play. Long way to go against the number 2 team of the country. No score, quarter number 1.
ESPN College Football is brought to you by Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Well, in the playoff era, the teams from Group of 5 conferences who have finished highest in the final AP poll. UCF may be the best parallel those 2 years that they put together back-to-back to what Cincinnati has done in the last 2-3 years. The Bearcats last year finished number 8. Their only loss was in the Peach Bowl, a game they controlled against Georgia, the team that right now is number 1 in the country. I do think there has been a gradual raising of expectation level and acknowledgement from the playoff committee and from AP voters that the Group of 5 teams have earned more respect as the playoff era has gone on. And maybe that has also started to set the stage for what's happening this year with Cincinnati. Navy gets the ball for the second time, and they run the option with the pitch play to Carlinos AC for a nice gain on first down.
I think you're right. I think the committee is seeing more out of the Group of 5 teams. I think the public is seeing more. And I think, quite frankly, the public is a little tired of the old blue bloods and, you know, would like to see others in the mix. And Cincy is in the mix this year. And right now, there are a couple of other teams that are hovering around. Oklahoma State, Michigan State right now. I think that's good for college football.
Yeah, if you're talking about new blood, fullback. And that runs straight ahead for a first down. Good gain. Isaac Ruas, who has been the leading rusher. Navy obviously spreads it around, but Ruas has done a nice job.
Well, when you play an option team, you have to tackle the fullback every single play. If the fullback gets going on you, you got a problem. He is the key, and he can gut you up the middle. So since he believes their defensive front can handle that, but not on that play.
First down for either team in this first quarter. 5 minutes in. And the fake to the fullback, the keeper by Lavatai. He got tackled from behind.
Well, Sanders is a guy who can chase down almost any quarterback. 4.45 speed on a guy that's 255 pounds. That is not fair. That's not right. They should not make him that big and that fast.
That really wasn't close. A nice play by Sanders. There is a Navy offensive lineman down on the field. That may be the center. That's not good news.
Yeah, Banbury. I'm sorry.
I think that is Darrelson Masaniai.
Masaniai, yeah.
Just a sophomore from Honolulu.
He's a guy who's built himself into a lineman, adding 40 pounds since he got here.
And center goes without saying for every offense is important. Triple option offense, that exchange really important.
He's in the middle of your screen delivering the snap, and you can see he's just in that pile, gets rolled up on it. You know, we spend a lot of time talking about the playoff and the implications, but we tend to forget there's more to college football than that. And having been around here for a couple of days, this is a big game for Navy. You know, great environment, flyover, parachuting in, and Navy trying to avoid 3 losing seasons in the last 4. It's not just about the playoff to a lot of people.
Very rare that the midshipmen get to host a team ranked this high. It hadn't happened since 1984. Pierce Banbury, the right guard, moved over to center and helped create a little push up front for another Navy first down. That's Ruas again.
You get a great double team on that right side and a great read by the quarterback, Lavatai, and there you go. You got a first down. Now what I'm waiting for is to see Lavatai throw the ball. His mother christened him in high school, I guess it was, or middle school, the throwing Samoan.
Well, you may have to wait a while. The nickname doesn't apply that much anymore. Ty has completed 10 passes all year. Now this is just his 4th start, but Navy, by design, they do not want to throw the ball very much. That's a keeper for Lavatai. One thing that is different about him than a lot of Navy quarterbacks, even some of their very best ones of the last several years, is he's a little bigger.
Yeah, 6'2", 215. Not quite the size of the original throwing Samoan, Jack Thompson, at Washington State. Dad had to tell Mom, hey, that throwing Samoan thing, you got to get to YouTube. There was another one before our son.
Yeah, I don't think that Mom was backing off, though.
Oh, no. Not at all.
Lavatai tripped there, keeps it, and some of that strength allowed him to get a couple yards when that looked like a blown-up play from the start. It's going to be 3rd down and maybe 3 coming up for Navy in a spot of the field where they're probably thinking they've got 2 plays to get those 3 yards.
This is the game plan for Navy. Long, boring drives. Limit the possessions that Cincy can have. Take 12, 15, 18 plays. Get to 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. Go for it on 4th down. Keep your offense on the field. Keep theirs on the sideline.
How about 21 plays? That was their opening drive last week at Memphis. 21 plays into the end zone. They'll pitch it on 3rd down and out to the corner. A first down and much more for Chance Warren. Senior, one of the captains on this team. Chance Warren and Navy with another first down. That was 13 yards.
Yeah, well, you know, if you get cut on the perimeter, that pitch man's going to get yardage. The key for Cincinnati, stay on your feet. You can't get cut blocked. Just the left-hand side of the screen here. Just keep your eyes there. There goes a guy down. If you're on the ground, it's hard to make a tackle. And that was Brian Cook who got cut.
And it is easier said than done against this Navy offense. Fullback gets it on first down. Ruas again, straight ahead.
And everybody hates playing an option team. Every defensive player out there, because you have got to play low. You have to get your hands on the cut blocker, whether it's on his shoulders or his helmet, and you can't let him get to your legs. He is going to crawl, scramble to try to get to your legs and get you on the ground. You have to play off of it, stay on your feet, and still be in position to make a tackle. And when you don't, it's a 13, 15-yard pickup on the edge.
2nd down and 6 for the midshipmen. Moving the ball for the first time. Another fullback run straight ahead. Let's go down to Stormy.
Well, guys, I just got word from the Navy trainer that Darylson Masaniai is okay. He was rolled up on that last little bit, but he's been bouncing around on the sideline, stretching out both of his legs, so hopefully he'll get back out there soon.
Okay, thanks for the update. And a credit to Pierce Banbury, the right guard, for sliding over. Navy hasn't missed a beat. It's 3rd down.
3rd and what?
3rd and 2.
Well, isn't that kind of part of the plan? 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3.
It's exactly how Navy wants it. Inside the Cincinnati 30. Lavatai kept it and just needed to make that one-man miss to get right there, and he got the Navy first down.
And the frustrating part, if you're Cincinnati or a Cincinnati fan, is you look up at the clock and you go, what's happened to the first quarter? There are only 5 minutes left. We've only had the ball a couple of times, and this team has been out there for so many plays.
So we're approaching the 6th minute of this drive. Already 10 plays. Shorten the game. That's kind of the whole idea of this offense. And when Navy's playing well, they do it very well. A pitch back with a blocker out in front and a huge gain inside the 10 all the way down to the 5. Jay Numbarger. It'll be 1st and goal for the midshipmen.
It is rare that you get Cincy to give up the edge. Normally guys stay home, but all that flow and action to the left side caught him off guard. Everybody steps inside, and now the perfect play for Umbarger to come back around. Perfectly called play.
So Navy now, they've had extreme problems in the red zone. Cincinnati's been arguably the best red zone defense in the country. Midshipman, handoff straight ahead. That's James Harris. He got down to the 2.
Low to the ground. Good blocking up front. Double team. If you stand up at all, defensive line, these guys will root you out and push you back towards that goal line.
I mean, those numbers, I mean, for Navy, 17 red zone trips, 6 touchdowns. That is so unlike a Ken Niumatalolo team. When they're good, they punch it in. They expect just about every time.
Well, they haven't had the great play at quarterback. They will all admit that. I mean, reading the option down here, taking care of the football. I think they've gone away from some. Here you go.
Lavatai keeper and touchdown Navy. What a drive.
Yeah. And they went away from the option down here because they have not run it very well. Little quarterback keep. Little lead play to the right side, and that is the perfect Navy drive.
"13 plays, 79 yards, more than 7 minutes." That is exactly how they draw it up. All right, so before the point after try, they are going to take a look and make sure that Lavatai actually got in.
On first glance, it looked like he was in.
I thought so. The official on the goal line on the far side from us, I thought I had a really good look at it.
Yeah. And I don't mind the extra look, to be certain. I just don't want these looks to take too long. Yeah, he's in. Before knee touches down, he's breaking the plane with the ball.
I think that size, Ty Lavatai, not huge, but by the standards of a triple option quarterback here at Navy, Ty Lavatai is a pretty big kid. That size helped him on that play.
Well, their quarterbacks tend to be about 5'10", 5'9". He's 6'2". And he's able to stretch across.
Well, to the point that you made early in this game, he is so inexperienced in this system. Ran the scout team last year. He's only started 4 games, including today. He did not run triple option in high school. They think he's got a chance to be really good. He needs more experience and maybe finally start to build up some of those reps.
Yeah, most guys who run the option.
After further review, the ruling on the field of a touchdown stands.
Most guys start running the option in Pop Warner football, you know, when they're very young. And then they get to high school and they keep running it. So by the time they get to college, I mean, they just know it like the back of their hand. That's not his situation. He started learning it when he got here.
Just semantics, but I don't know why you would say the call stands as opposed to confirm. Looked to me like it was clear he got in. But anyway, it's a touchdown for Navy. The extra point on the way, and it is up and good. Well, the midshipmen, the last time a team was ranked this high came to Annapolis a long time ago, but they got the win trying to pull off a stunner today. Navy takes a lead in our drive recap, brought to you by Dell Technologies. Pretty impressive.
Classic Navy drive. 13 plays, 79 yards, more than 7 minutes, and a good mixture. Fullback inside, tailback outside, and then throw in a reverse for good measure. The big play of the drive. Finish it off with your quarterback, and all of a sudden you're up 7-0. You're feeling pretty good about the start to the game for Navy.
Navy's defense has gotten 2 3-and-out stops. Now a long scoring drive. So with only 3:51 left in the first quarter, they kick an onside kick. The ball got touched. It's loose on the turf. I think Cincinnati fell on it. Navy onside kicking it after the first points of the game. Was that Wyatt Fisher who fell on the football? I think it was.
Well, they caught Cincinnati sleeping. They had a shot at it, but couldn't come up with it. Watch this opportunity. Got to go 10 yards, right? There it is, 10 yards. You got guys and you got a bad bounce away, but man, they had an opportunity.
ruling on the field is Navy illegally touched the ball prior to the ball going 10 yards. It's Cincinnati's ball, 1st and 10.
Well, they did call a penalty. You couldn't hear the referee microphone there for a moment, but they did call an illegal touch. It was hard to tell on those replay looks, but maybe the ball hit the foot of one of those coverage players just prior to reaching the 10-yard mark, maybe.
Judging by where they marked it, yeah, they marked it just a yard short of the 10-yard limit before you can touch it.
Well, look, Navy's 1-5. It's been a really, really frustrating year, and I don't mind the midshipmen trying just about anything against the number 2 ranked team in the country.
No problem with that.
But it does mean the Bearcats start their 3rd offensive possession inside Navy territory. Ritter is going to keep it and throw on the move. And that pass complete out to Alec Pierce, who gets a gain inside the 40 down to the 36.
The guy who hasn't touched the ball much, and you see Cincy really hasn't trailed much this year. But to me, the guy who makes this offense go and really makes a difference is the running back Ford. He makes this offense special because he can run inside and he can give you the big play.
Jerome Ford is a very talented young man. He gets the carry here, and his momentum will get a Cincinnati 1st down.
He is a transfer from Alabama. He's had 2 great weeks in a row. The AAC Offensive Player of the Week the last couple of games. Look at those numbers. That's crazy.
The first half against UCF last week, he had 179 yards and 4 touchdowns in a half.
Nuts.
And transfer from Alabama, not just a guy who went there and didn't play at all. Ritter delivers right on the money, and that's going to be a Cincinnati touchdown. Josh Wiley, the tight end. The Bearcats are an extra point away from tying this game.
Another big play against the Navy defense. You get Ford going, and now you can attack the safeties. The safeties have been an issue. They've had injuries, and you get your big tight end running free past the safety in the middle of the field.
Well, it plagued Navy last week. Memphis had so many big plays against the Navy defense. There's a big one for Cincinnati. Just 3 plays, 44 yards, 1 second, plus a minute. That's all it took. With the onside kick that didn't work, the extra point is up and good. So Cincinnati ties the game 7-7. While we have a moment, let's check in studio with Kevin Connors.
All right, Flem, your Rocket Mortgage studio update. Number 2 now even on the scoreboard. Number 3 is trailing. Eric McLean, how about Jason Bean and the Kansas Jayhawks?
Hey, look out for those running quarterbacks. A little option what Cincinnati's facing. Would have liked to see him stretch it in the end zone there.
And then Devin Neal does. 14-play, 80-yard drive. Kansas up on Oklahoma, Flem.
Yeah. Well, Kansas doing a Navy imitation 14-play drive.
Yeah. Hey, Kevin, I don't know if you've seen a game here or not, but you need to come down here and spend a weekend, enjoy some great food, and this environment, you know, the flyover, everybody's suited up across the way. It's a pretty cool scene.
Yeah, it's a great town, great college town. They take their football Saturdays very seriously in Annapolis. They take them seriously in Cincinnati, too. Luke Fickell's team ties the game. All the midshipmen wearing their SDBs, their service dress blues.
Look at that. Could you have handled that?
I think you probably know the answer. Not many can handle what it takes to be a midshipman. Penalty flag thrown. Big kick return, and we'll see. The midshipmen get it out near midfield. Now pushing and shoving at the end of the play. But so far only 1 penalty flag down on the field. I mean, you would assume this is against Navy. We'll see, though. As it stands, a 48-yard kick return.
Yeah, it's coming back.
Navy's special teams haven't been great this year. They've talked a lot about that this week. All 3 phases have needed improvement and better play.
Facing the number 2 team in the country, you know you are at a decided disadvantage. You can't worry about being the better team. You have to think about playing your best.
There is no foul on the play.
Wow. All right, so they talked about it. They take the penalty off the board, and that means the 48-49 yard kick return is going to stand.
That's good work. Good word getting in there and talking about it.
Well, Saturday Night Football presented by Capital One sort of finishes off a great day of college football. We're getting it started here in Annapolis. Oregon, UCLA, 3:30 Eastern. Clemson, Pitt. That's a big game in the ACC. Tennessee, Alabama, and then the one I was just talking about. Ohio State on the road against Indiana. Indiana has not beaten Ohio State since 1988.
It's been a disappointing and surprisingly disappointing season for Indiana so far. We expected much more. Maybe it shows up tonight.
A team that Cincinnati beat pretty soundly early in the year. Expected to be a super quality win for the Bearcats. Straight ahead run with some misdirection for Isaac Ruas on first down, Navy.
Now, if you're Cincy, you start thinking about how do you change your pitches to the quarterback? Give him a different look. Slow play him a little bit. When he's reading the guy who has him, switch it up sometimes. Sometimes you attack him. Sometimes you take your time and you just kind of hang there and make him make the first move. Sometimes you switch it to a linebacker that's on him.
Run game is working so far. A pitch on the outside, and that one was just defended beautifully by Cincinnati. Javon Hicks with the tackle.
Yeah, they did it that time. They had a defensive end go to the quarterback. That freed up the outside to handle the pitch. They had a corner available. They had a safety available. Maybe a changeup. That's what that one was.
Well, how about a quick update down with Stormy on the sideline?
Yeah, just in case it does bother him, Ty Lavatai looked like he got a pretty good gash on that last touchdown run. So the trainer came and wrapped it up. A couple teammates asked him how he was feeling. He said all good, though. You know these guys are tough.
First pass play of the game, and a receiver wide open for a first down for Navy. That's out of the backfield. Kai Puailoa Rojas. First down and much more for the midshipman. That's only the 11th pass that Ty Lavatai has completed all year.
Just a little delay route. You get all caught up in the option game. He just hides on the right side of your screen. There you see him. Sneaks out over the middle. Easy.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Defense number 3. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
So Hicks, the safety, commits the 15-yard penalty. So add that to the yardage of the play, and Navy's in business big time.
Yeah, a little undisciplined there. No need to push the guy. He's already 3 yards out of bounds. A little frustration in the man coverage they had back there. You know, and a guy sneaks out of the backfield on him.
I think it's always a possibility when you play Navy that frustration becomes a part of the game.
Yep.
It's just not easy to play against the midshipmen when they're running their offense well. Fullback straight ahead, not much there on first down.
Now think about this, and I've been through this. Almost every single play, a guy is coming at your knees. You get tired of it. You get tired of bending down and trying to push him away. You know, it eats at you over time. And for a defensive back, you have to stay alert because there are 30, 40 running plays in a row. It's easy to fall asleep. And then all of a sudden, the ball's being thrown.
Excellent point. Some of the playmakers were showing you on that Cincinnati side. They are a very tough team typically to throw the ball against. This one defended well by the Bearcats, and a big loss with a hit in the backfield for Navy going backwards. AC just had nowhere to go.
Yeah, bad read. A bad read that time by Lavatai. There was no way that pitch was ever going to work. He needed to turn that one up inside. Cincinnati was playing for this. He doesn't give it, and there was a slow play guy waiting for him, Sanders, so he needed to turn that one up instead of trying to pitch it.
Well, Navy very happy, I think, to let the final seconds of the first quarter tick off the clock. First quarter where the midshipmen in general played really well.
Don't have to be the better team. You have to play your best for 3 hours, quarter at a time. And for the first quarter, Navy's played as well as they can and done well.
Well, as Rod said just a minute ago, very few places feel like Annapolis, Maryland on a college football Saturday. Just a great scene, and the midshipmen have come to play against the number 2 ranked team in the country. A tie game, 7-7 at the end of quarter number 1. Well, we start quarter number 2 in Annapolis. Navy has controlled this game so far. Cincinnati got the ball first today, and yet they've only had not even 3 minutes of time of possession. Navy has the ball to start the second quarter, deep in Cincinnati territory, but facing 3rd and 11. Lavatai is going to throw the ball short, and that tackle in the open field. That play really did not have much of a chance, so it's going to be 4th down, and likely Navy will try a field goal to grab the lead back. Well, Javon Hicks, who committed the penalty, which helped set up Navy in good scoring position, made a nice play there.
We'll see if Navy can get points out of this. You mentioned them controlling the game so far, and it's true. You know, game control, clock control.
They have a good place kicker, Bijan Nichols. This will be about a 33-yard try from the left hash mark. Good snap and hold. That kick is perfect. So Navy back up 10-7, very early second quarter. Another check-in studio with Kevin.
All right, Flem, AT&T 5G studio update. Sean Clifford back from the undisclosed injury, Eric, and finding Keandre Lambert-Smith.
Yeah, you know Penn State is happy to have him back. Just really a great quick slant. Receiver does the rest.
7-0 game right now over Illinois on ABC.
Yeah, that's good news for Penn State. They obviously have a big one coming up next week against Ohio State.
With Sean Clifford back, they have a shot. Without him, their season was looking pretty ugly.
Those undisclosed injuries are they can be tough to come back from.
We're in for quite a race in some of these conferences. You know, who's going to emerge out of the Big Ten? Ohio State again, Penn State, and don't sleep on Michigan State.
Luke Fickell in Cincinnati, they want chaos.
Yep.
They want upsets. They want topsy-turvy. Navy sets up to kick it off. They onside kicked it last time. Would they try it again?
Element of surprise is now gone.
They're trying something. Is that surprise? Well, it wasn't a fair catch. It wasn't all that effective for Navy. Cincinnati will get very good field position. Well, Sunday NFL countdown tomorrow morning. You can hear from both Matt Stafford and Jared Goff getting ready to face each other. They got swapped for one another in the offseason. Randy's got You Got Moss. That's at 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN. And then Monday Night Football will finish the week in the NFL. The Saints and the Seahawks up in Seattle, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and on the app, of course. Monday Night Countdown kicks that off at 6 Eastern on Monday.
Can we agree Stafford got the better of that deal?
He found himself in a much improved situation.
Yeah.
And he's playing like it.
False start. Offense number 72. 5-yard penalty. It's first down.
Well, the penalties for Cincinnati, that's James Tunstall, who is a local kid. He's got tons of friends and family, way more than anybody else, I think, on this Cincinnati team. Here to watch him today.
50 family members and friends or so today to check him out.
Yeah, from Indian Head, Maryland. Kind of got a cool story. The left tackle who just won the job a few weeks ago. So 1st and long and a loss of a yard in the backfield. Avon Gibbons from his safety spot made the tackle on Jerome Ford.
Well, we understood from talking to Navy that they were going to roll the dice. They know they cannot play with Cincy straight up. Roll the dice, get some blitzes, do it on early downs, and then once they establish that, don't get caught in man-to-man coverage. Matchups are not good, so fall back to a 3 deep, a 3 high safety look. Protect it, keep the ball in front.
2nd and 16 for Desmond Ridder and the Cincinnati offense. Ritter's got plenty of time across the middle. Nice delivery to the tight end Wiley, who gets upended but held on to the ball. First down, Bearcats.
Oh, we had a question earlier in the game about his accuracy. That's as good as you can do it. That throw was fantastic. Had to get it over and in front of a couple of defenders. Look at this thing. Perfect.
Josh Wiley, really talented tight end. This quick hitter out to the left side for a positive gain to Alec Pierce. Well, Josh Wiley's been a little frustrated. The coaches have talked about it because he's just a really talented player and he hasn't had a lot of chances to make plays. Cincinnati's been very proud of him for staying positive, doing a great job blocking, doing all those little things while he hasn't had as many catches as he's wanted. A little run pass option kind of play, and Ridder delivered a little high to Leonard Taylor, incomplete.
Well, Wiley got a touchdown already to start this game, so that ought to get him going and make him the target. Now, part of it is simply 11, Leonard Taylor has come on as the other tight end. We are seeing a move towards more tight ends being back in the game, away from the no huddle, away from the 4 or 5 receiver sets, more tight ends on this third down.
Wiley's on the sideline for 3rd and 5. Cincinnati hasn't converted to 3rd down yet. Navy brings some pressure. Ritter on the move is going to throw, and it's complete. Nice arm strength there to Trey Tucker. 1st down, Cincinnati.
Yeah, just a little bit of a smash route. Inside receiver runs the corner route. Outside receiver stops, creates a huge window. You see Ritter on the move, but he's got a huge window to get that ball in there.
Quicker tempo here, and that pass is into coverage, and it's intercepted inside the 5 by Jamal Glenn. So Desmond Ritter, who came in with 13 touchdowns, only 2 picks, throws his 3rd interception of the year, and he's not happy about it.
Wow. That's completely on Ritter. Misread the coverage. For whatever reason, he assumed he had man-to-man coverage. He doesn't. They've dropped back 3 deep on this. He doesn't see the corner out there. He's sitting there. Big turnover. Navy hanging in there.
Annapolis, Maryland, the site of the Naval Academy, and Navy hasn't hosted a team ranked as high as number 2 in the country since 1984. Back in '84, they beat number 2 South Carolina. Navy with a 10-7 lead. They get the ball back after a turnover. Still early 2nd quarter. Not great field position, but they have the ball. And Lavatai, the quarterback, gets wrestled down. He was not in the end zone with his forward progress, but close. So Cincinnati's defense trying to come up with a big play. That was Malik Vann.
Well, since he guessed correctly, they assumed Navy would not trust running the option down here. The quarterback would hang onto the ball. And a great move, great quickness inside by Vann. Malik Vann just shot past his man. So now you got to be real careful if you're Navy. Can you run it out of here with the fullback? Or are you going to wind up punting from the back of the end zone?
It's already 5 tackles for loss for this very talented Cincinnati defense. They will give the ball to the fullback straight ahead. Get a little breathing room. James Harris out across the 5. It'll be 3rd down.
Normally you think about what might happen in a passing situation here, but these corners for Cincy, they are so good, but they're going to be bored most of the day. Even in this 3rd down situation, their first thought might be, hey, I got to make sure on a pitch, I'm in position, I can tackle my guy.
Well, it's almost too bad for us because you're a former DB. I mean, these guys are so good on the outside. It's not a game where we can really highlight Ahmad Gardner and Kobe Bryant and the rest of that secondary all that much. A pitch back toward the goal line. Warren is trying to get there, but could not quite. Out to the 10. So stopped short of the 1st down. Ball did pop out, but he was down. So 4th down, Navy.
You mentioned Gardner and Bryant, and we may not see them in coverage an awful lot today. We'll see them come up and make tackles, but down the line, they're going to be in some big games, and they will get to show their skills. These are NFL corners that Cincy has out there, and they're fun to watch. They are extremely talented.
So Cincinnati's defense comes up with the stop after the interception down near the goal line. Navy's punter, Riley Reithman. Kind of a low line drive style punt, but a boomer. Wow. With the bounce. Watch where this one ends up. Wow, that is a long punt. To the 25 of Cincinnati.
Flipping the field.
I think that qualifies as a flip the field play. Maybe 64 yards of field position gained. Timeout in Annapolis. All right, our college football rankings brought to you by Chick-fil-A. We've got number 2 Cincinnati here in Annapolis. Oklahoma struggling a little bit in the early kick time in Lawrence, Kansas.
Yeah, 2 and 3 struggling early. Maybe just not awake yet. Since he doesn't get an awful lot of these early kicks, Oklahoma probably has had more of the early kicks than they would like.
Big test for Oklahoma State, for Oregon. Back end of that top 10. Meanwhile, Navy's defense, part of the reason Cincinnati is struggling, Navy's defense has come to play.
EAT, they talk about it all the time. Effort, attitude, and toughness. Don't worry about skill, speed. just have the effort, the attitude, and the toughness.
They got absolutely gashed last week against Memphis in the first half. Gave up 28 points and a lot of big plays. Much tougher here in the first half this afternoon.
And those big plays came primarily on the back end in the middle of the field. The safeties, they've had injuries, they had blown assignments, they had missed tackles. They've been sound back there. You get a lot of 3 high safety look from them, something Iowa State made popular a couple years ago.
So far, they've contained the talented tailback Jerome Ford. Play fake to Ford. The throw across the middle, very high from Ritter.
Off. That's 2 throws in a row that have been off by Ritter. The pick down around the goal line, and this one a little high. Now, no reason for him to be uncomfortable. He did talk about his off-season training to try to do a better job of having the lower half of his body work with his upper half. But those habits, those are bad, hard habits to break. Takes a lot of time.
Just 6 of 13 plus a pick. Gets pressured here. Throws a little behind his intended receiver, but he got it there to Michael Young Jr. First down, Cincinnati.
I think he's more comfortable and more natural when he's throwing on the move. You know, the whole concept of having time in the pocket and making sure that your fundamentals are right. That's, to me, that's the issue long term that he keeps working on during the offseason with quarterback coaches.
So that's a big first down for Cincinnati. Keep the drive going. Ritter on first down looking to throw, and he does find his tailback Jerome Ford for the completion of 5 yards.
See, even that throw, I mean, you want to get those underneath throws to a guy so he can continue to run with it yards after the catch. You don't want guys jumping, diving to try to catch the ball. So he's got to get into a rhythm, and they haven't established him yet in this game. So if I'm over there on the Cincy sideline, I'm looking for the things he likes the best to get him comfortable.
One of the things he likes best is just handing it off to number 24, Jerome Ford, who gets stopped after a gain of 2.
We blame him?
Man, the thing about Jerome Ford is he transferred in from Alabama. He started a game for the Crimson Tide, played a lot a few years ago. I mean, it's not like he wasn't getting on the field at all in Tuscaloosa. Really talented young player from Tampa, Florida.
The next time Ford knocks over a guy, I smell an NIL deal for him. Just keep on trucking.
Well, he has 8 yards total on the ground in this first half. Pretty good job by the Navy run defense. Ritter, design quarterback run. He'll get the first down. He is so hard to defend in that way. Into Navy territory.
Second leading rusher on the team, and you know, the combination of Ford and Ritter running the ball is going to be an issue not only for Navy but for teams down the line. I mean, that's a hard thing to address.
It's his first rush of the game. Play fake to Ford, and that short pass off the hands. That was a forward pass. You can't really blame Josh Wiley for pouncing on it.
Pass. Second down.
It's awkward spacing.
Yeah.
Too close to your receiver. How much you put on it? You want to flip it? Where do you flip it? Question here for Navy defensively. They've made a practice in this game of bringing pressure on first or second down and then dropping back into coverage. Are they confident against a spread formation here? I don't think so. I think they're going to drop as many folks back in coverage as possible.
Now whistles as the play was starting. I think Cincinnati used a timeout.
Cincinnati's called their first time out of the half. Full media timeout.
So that means cue us. We take the break too. 2nd and 10 coming up. Number 2 Cincinnati down in the first half at Navy.
Great guest list for the Mannings tonight.
You've reached Peyton and Eli. Leave a message.
It's Pacino, and I want to be in the show.
Foot by foot, we're going to measure Peyton's head.
Watch Peyton and Eli. You never know who will drop by.
Who knows who'll be popping by on Monday night on ESPN2, 8 Eastern, Seahawks and Saints. Second down out of the timeout for the Bearcats of Cincinnati. I just hope Eli is recovered from his big weekend in Oxford. Desmond Ridder finds the tight end Wiley, who's been a big part of the offense. He got right to that first down mark.
A lot of underneath room for those throws because Navy, after the last couple of weeks, is focused on keeping the ball in front. They don't want anyone to get behind them.
Did you see the end zones in Oxford for today's number retirement ceremony for Eli Manning?
I did not.
The end zones are, all they say on both sides are in giant letters, Manning. It's pretty cool.
Wow. Cool.
I believe Eli will be having some fun this weekend at his alma mater.
He's got to recover in time for Monday.
That's my point. Is I hope that he bounces back in time. Arch is going to be there to watch his uncle get his number retired. Maybe not a total coincidence that the end zones look the way they do.
You know, Arch should be playing that off. He should play one uncle against the other. Who can give me the best information? Who can give me the best stuff about quarterbacking? Who can give me the most money?
Is there a team that's willing to just keep the Manning name? And I doubt that's what Arch wants, is for his name to be on the field. Anyway, it's cool that Ole Miss is doing that for Eli. Ridder throws, and that pass complete to the other tight end, Leonard Taylor, for the catch. Stopped just a little bit short of the first down.
Are you surprised that we're seeing this trend back to the tight ends in college football? Not just here, but across the country. We're seeing a lot more of it.
I'm not surprised at all. Tight ends are hard to defend.
Yep.
I love tight ends as weapons in the NFL. You got some great ones putting up big numbers. Play fake. Ridder got his pass tipped, and it's still completed. Hung up in the air for a while. Alec Pierce, nice adjustment to come back and get the ball inside the 15.
Pierce is underrated, does a tremendous job. He is a much better athlete than people give him credit for. A guy with about a 40-inch vertical leap.
Big dude. He's 6'3". He was a track star in high school. Really good wide receiver. You're right. So first down, Bearcats. Down 3. That pass caught by the tight end, Leonard Taylor again.
Heavy look for the tight ends. We had this period where everybody was enamored with the no huddle and 4 and 5 receivers. Defenses responded by getting smaller and faster. And now we see teams going back, getting bigger with 2 tight ends, playing them a lot.
I mean, if you're Cincinnati, you're the school of Travis Kelce. You got to have good tight ends.
Exactly.
Ridder, play fake, and being pursued from behind. He's going to go down. Ridder did not get rid of the ball. That pressure came very quickly. Jacob Busick.
Yeah, one of the things that we noticed in film prep is that this offensive line doesn't always recognize pressure or games up front, and there's a little delayed pressure. They didn't pick this up. Back didn't pick it up, and now you've got a serious third down.
14th play of the drive, a Navy-like deliberate drive for Cincinnati.
They have to play coverage here.
On 3rd and 10, they did not play coverage. They brought pressure. The pass incomplete across the middle. It's 4th down.
Very smart move. They brought pressure, but they played zone behind it in the end zone. You don't have that much room to cover. They didn't want to get caught up in man-to-man situations, so they played zone behind it and brought pressure, making Ridder uncomfortable, having to get rid of the ball quickly, and you have guys watching the quarterback in the play that can come up and make a tackle.
It's been a good defensive game plan so far for Navy. Meanwhile, the kick game has not been great for the Bearcats, and this is a different kicker. This is Christian Lowry, who's going to try this field goal. Kick is not pretty, but it's effective. Went through the uprights, and for the Bearcats, that's been better than usual this year. So the field goal's good to tie the game. 4:07 to go first half. It's 10-10.
ESPN, home of the college football playoff.
Run it.
Twisted Tea drop in. Hey, who do you suppose Navy fans are pulling for here? Sam Hartman finding A.T. Perry.
You love that slow ride RPO game, and then unfortunately DB falls. Easy walk-in touchdown for A.T.
Army hasn't beaten an AP-ranked team since '72. Down 7. Flem?
Wow. Now, Army's having a good year. They're 4-2 solid team. A real contrast. I think that's part of the story of this season here in Annapolis is this has not been a normal year for Navy football. It's been a year full of losses, full of some drama on and off the field, which is highly unusual for the midshipmen. And a lot of it goes back, Rod, as Navy gets the football back. 4 minutes to go in the first half, tied against the #2 team in the country. And a lot of it stems. Ivan Jasper's been a part of this program for 22 years. Ken Niumatalolo calls him the most experienced and best option coach in all of college football. And after the Air Force game week 2, where Navy had a miserable offensive performance, Chet Gladchuk, who's been the athletic director here for a long time, walked into the locker room, didn't talk to the head coach, and fired Ivan Jasper.
Yeah, and that really unsettled a lot of people and left a lot of wounded folks around the program, including Niumatalolo and Jasper, former players, alums. They were not happy with the way it was handled. But Gladchuk said publicly he was sending a message.
First down run for the fullback for Navy.
He was sending a message that he was not interested in 3 losing seasons out of the last 4 years, wanted changes, and apparently there had been some discussions over time, and I guess he felt the need to go into the coach's locker room, pull Jasper out, and make the point that he would make a change. And you have to wonder how that impacts the coaching staff going forward.
Everybody says that they've moved on to some degree. Pitch on second down, and Navy to the outside the 35-yard line. AC with the carry, and that is good enough for a Navy first down. After Ken Niumatalolo found out what had happened, he had meetings the next 2 days with the athletic director. Said, we just can't do it without this guy. He's too important to our young men. He's been too good, too important of a part of our program for all these years. And so he did get reinstated, not as the offensive coordinator. There have to be some lingering hurt feelings.
Absolutely. You know, for Niumatalolo, for Jasper, and for players. I mean, they were shocked by it. And I don't know that that was handled the right way. I don't believe it was handled the right way.
Having a pass play on first down. That doesn't happen very often. Not a huge gain, but a positive gain to Tiger Goslin, one of the slot backs for Navy.
The way it should happen is that the AD meets with the head coach the next day and say, look, here's what I think. But when you go into the coach's locker room at an emotional time after a big loss to a rival, it seems like an emotional decision. But he said he wanted to send a message, and maybe part of the message was, look, you know, you've had this guy on your staff for 22 years. I think we need new ideas, you know, fresh ideas. I want to see some changes. Fair points all to be discussed. But to do it in that manner after a game and to kind of undercut the authority and positioning of the head coach there, it makes you wonder how Niumatalolo gets over it. How does Jasper get over it? How do they make it work going forward?
I mean, Chet Gladchuk, the athletic director, been here for a long time, been a part of a lot of success, not just in football, but across the athletic department. And you can understand the frustration. They had 68 yards of offense at home against their rivals.
36 yards rushing. I get it. And everybody understands it. And the issue, I don't think, is that he wanted to see some changes and to have some discussions about that. The issue is why at that moment, post-game, an emotional time, everyone's upset, everyone's frustrated. You go into the locker room while the head coach is talking to the team, and you pull a coach out and you fire a coach. And he finds out afterwards. That's a tough situation.
And undoubtedly this program, I mean, it's not been a great few years. 2019, you culminated 11-12, but 2018 was a little down, and good to see Kip Franklin hop up and head off the field. These last 2 years, maybe since the start of last year, 4-12 coming into this game combined.
And I think there's a bigger question here too. I think Navy's also trying to figure out, where do they fit in this changing landscape of college football? Expansion, name, image, and likeness, transfer portal, which they really can't participate in, Niumatalolo told us. So where do they fit? How do they find their place in this ever-changing college football landscape?
So it's 3rd and 3. Handoff, fullback straight ahead, close, but I don't think he quite got there, James Harris. Now this will test Ken Niumatalolo's resolve to go for it on 4th down. Under 2 minutes to go in the first half. He's going to go for it.
No question. He talks about demoralizing the defense, because when you pick up a 4th down on them running the ball, it is demoralizing. You think you're coming off the field, but you're not.
Big play here. Cincinnati moved. They jumped. So they didn't even have to snap the ball. They're going to get the first down, I think.
Offside. Defense number 21. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Listen, to pull off an upset.
The game clock will start in the snap.
Of a top-ranked team or a number 2 team, and I've been on teams that have done it. The formula is you have to play your best. You don't have to be perfect, but your best. But the other team, that super team, has to help you. And Cincy is helping Navy so far.
Now the clock is definitely a factor here. Navy's not exactly a hurry-up offense. They're going to throw the ball down the field. Incomplete. A contested ball intended for Michael Cooper, who is kind of the big play guy at wide receiver. Not a terrible throw from Lavatai, but incomplete.
Yeah, he's got to go take that ball away. I mean, you talk about good corners out here. You saw some of that on that play right there. That receiver wants to go aggressively at the ball. Look at the attack by Kobe Bryant. And yes, he was named after the Mamba.
C-O-B-Y, but still. Kobe Bryant, one of the better defensive backs in college football.
But 4 penalties, a turnover, and a drop.
You're right. Fullback straight ahead. A nice gain into Cincinnati territory. Navy's not used to going quick tempo here, but there's less than a minute and a half to go until halftime.
And if they can squeeze a few more yards out of this and have a shot at the field goal, it would be 2 quarters that Navy has outplayed Cincy. And Cincy's helping them.
They have a good kicker. They get the ball. Navy does to start the second half. Lavatai keeps it straight ahead. First down. That'll stop the clock momentarily inside the Bearcats 40.
They have timeouts to use as well.
And they may well use one here.
First charge timeout. Navy. 30 seconds.
So a timeout. Navy on the move. Tie game against the number 2 Bearcats. Let's get an update while we have a chance in studio with Kevin.
Hey, Flem, coming up on the Geico halftime report. Much more on the stunner right now in Lawrence. Number 3 Oklahoma on the ropes against Kansas. We'll also check in on the big boys in the Big Ten. And Eric McLean with me in studio. He's going to explain what makes Kenny Pickett elite. All coming up when you join us for the Geico halftime report, guys.
All right, thank you, Kevin. We look forward to that. I mean, 2 big stories right now early in the day. Big day of college football from start to finish. But the early games, number 2 Cincinnati being pushed by Navy. Oklahoma struggling at Kansas.
Who panics? Does Oklahoma panic? Does Cincy panic? If you don't panic and come out and play better, you'll probably be fine. If you start to panic, look out.
The Bearcats were 4 touchdown favorites in this game. A throw and a completion along the sidelines and out of bounds to stop the clock. Mark Walker with Ahmad Gardner in coverage there. The passing game is coming to life a little bit.
Well, Gardner's laying off because he's thinking, well, I got to be prepared to handle any run this way. And that's a free access throw. That's easy money for the throwing Samoan.
Navy is in field goal range. Nichols, their place kicker, has a 50-yarder already this year. The wind's starting to pick up. We can feel that swirling around a little bit. I think they'd like to get closer. Lavatai kept it and got tackled immediately. So on 2nd and short, the stop, and I think Navy, are they going to use a timeout?
They should. They should, unless they really are comfortable right here and want to make sure there's no time left for Cincy. But a nice play by DeBlanco, who just flew right in there.
So they let a few extra seconds tick off the clock.
Second charge timeout. Navy. 30 seconds.
So just the short timeout for the midshipmen here. With 3rd and 2 coming, we get a chance to Remind you again, Saturday Night Football presented by Capital One in the Big Ten is sort of the nightcap on ABC. Ohio State and Indiana, who that would be a big upset for the Hoosiers. But hey, who knows based on what we're seeing right now. Oregon, UCLA, Clemson, Pitt, Tennessee, Alabama. Game stand out for you there?
Oregon, UCLA. This is a serious race for the Rose Bowl and maybe a preview of the Pac-12 championship game. UCLA, we've seen them. They can be really good when DTR is on. When that young man is doing it at quarterback, he's a problem.
And we've seen the Ducks as well. The Ducks have had an up and down kind of year, but mostly up, still in the top 10.
Yeah, they haven't been the same since Ohio State. They've had some injuries and the like, but they may be due for a really good game.
All right, 3rd and 2, Navy. Out of the timeout, Lavatai under center. Is going to give the ball to the fullback, straight ahead, middle of the field, down to about the 25. Isaac Ruas does get the first down. And Navy, the clock, they only have the 1 timeout left, but they're going to try to either get a little closer, who knows, maybe go for the end zone.
Don't be greedy.
That play was blown up from the start. Man, the defensive lineman was in on the play, almost took the snap.
You're not an elite passing team. Know who you are.
Final timeout of the half, Navy. Full timeout.
That was Curtis Brooks who just totally ruined that play, and that's huge because Navy has to use their last timeout.
Yep. So if you're Navy, don't be greedy. You're in position to get a field goal and go in ahead of the number 2 team in the country at halftime.
Not quite as good a position as they were a few seconds ago. They lost several yards on that first down play. Without a timeout, I would think that we may well see the field goal team come out on the field here.
You know, you could run a play here, and with 25 seconds, you can get your team on the field.
Yeah, hustle your field. If you believe in the organization of your special teams unit, hustle your field goal team out there. That's a good point.
And if you can't be that disciplined to get 11 guys on the field, you probably don't belong at the Naval Academy.
Yeah, you also have time to spike the ball after a run play if you want to do that, to just stop the clock and let the field goal team take their time. Because it's only 2nd down here, so you have a down to work with. Lavatai, play fake. He's going to throw, and he's going to get sacked. Now that really is not supposed to happen.
Nope. That's what we were talking about. Don't be greedy. You're in field goal range. You're not an elite passing team. Why are you dropping back?
So they're going to clock it here with 10 seconds to go. That last sequence cost them, what, 10 yards?
Yeah, that's my point. You had a field goal in your back pocket, and now you're trying to be something you're not. You're not a drop back passing team. Pass blocking is not your forte, and you've added 10 yards to your field goal kicker's attempt here.
And give Cincinnati's defense credit. They made 2 really good plays there, but still.
Yeah, all the credit in the world, but Navy made it easy for them.
Yeah, that was just not well executed in any way, those last 2 plays.
Now, if they make it, so what, right?
Correct. Cincinnati's going to call a timeout here.
Second charge timeout, Cincinnati, 30 seconds.
I mean, what should have been a 41-yard field goal is a 51-yarder now.
Speaking of field goals and the nets behind them this season, along with their contributions to universities' general scholarship funds, for every field goal and extra point made, Allstate will also be donating to the American Red Cross to help with disaster relief efforts. Thank you, Allstate. Well, they have a good place kicker. Bijan Nichols has a 50-yarder this year. He has a field goal today. He's 8 for 10 overall on the season.
This would be a new long for him. This season anyway.
By a yard. And that wind that was swirling a minute ago seems to have died down just a little bit. Kick gets blocked by Cincinnati, and now a chance for the Bearcats on the deflection. I think that's Deshaun Pace, who went out of bounds, got shoved out of bounds. And was that the kicker who saved it? No, maybe the holder, Daniel Davies, who ended up getting the save with 1 second on the clock. Cincinnati still has a chance here. What a disastrous sequence for Navy.
Just as bad as they possibly could make it. going backwards and then a block kick. Now, when you move back, that kick is going to be a little lower. You got to get more power behind it. And pace always winds up around the football, it seems.
He is such an instinctive player. Yeah, I guess he stepped out there. I mean, it wasn't much from Daniel Davies, but it was good hustle, because that could have been to the end zone for Deshaun Pace.
Final time out of the half, Cincinnati, full timeout.
Now, Cincy's field goal kicking has been an adventure all year.
That would be a very kind way of putting it.
Because normally you go, oh, we'll take the shot at the 51-yarder, but that might be a pipe dream.
I mean, they do have one of their kickers. They have several of them now. Alex Bales warming up, so that may be what Luke Fickell decides to do.
Or do you say, you know what? Let's just let's take a shot at the end zone. 1 second. You got a guy out there, Alec Pierce, 6'3", 215 with a 40-inch vertical.
I might have chosen that route, but they're going to try to kick it with Alex Bales, who's their kickoff specialist. So he's the guy with the bigger leg. This is going to be officially 52 yards. Maybe Navy's special teams can come up with a big play. Final play of the half. Bales very low with some mustard on it, and it's good.
Look at that.
Low line drive field goal. And Cincinnati's going to take a lead to the locker room. Man, those last few seconds of the first half for Navy could hardly have gone worse.
Crazy. Navy got greedy. Navy got greedy and wound up giving Cincy 3 points, and the satisfaction of going into the locker room thinking, we didn't play well, but we're up.
And credit to Alex Bales, who just attempted his first field goal try of the year from 52 yards and punched it through.
Good for him.
So that means that Cincinnati has the lead. The number 2 Bearcats 13-10. It is halftime time, and we'll take you to studio with Kevin and Eric.
Welcome to the Geico Halftime Report.
You're watching the American on ESPN from Annapolis, Maryland, the home of the Naval Academy. The midshipmen have come to play today. The number 2 ranked team in the country, Cincinnati, with just a 3-point lead as we get ready to start the second half. It's 13-10. Our player spotlight is brought to you by Gain Detergent, the Heisman candidate for Cincinnati. The quarterback, Desmond Ridder, up and down. Not a perfect half for him.
Yeah, since he has not played to their standard, and Ridder would be the first to tell you neither has he. 12 of 21 passing. He's had a pick. His accuracy has been off a little bit, and we haven't seen him run the ball as much as we sort of expected to. So he's got to pick it up, but his teammates have to pick it up as well.
Yeah, no kidding. Dave Fleming, Rod Gilmore, Stormy's down on the field. We'll hear from her in just a moment as the Bearcats get ready to start the second half. Navy will have the ball. I mean, look, the midshipmen have not had a great year, but clearly they've gotten some things figured out here with the number 2 team in the country in town. I mean, they have a legitimate chance to pull this off.
Yeah, except for that last sequence before the half when they got greedy and gave up the shot at 3 points. You know, they've taken care of the football. They haven't committed penalties, and they've had the long drives that they've needed to limit the possessions for Cincy.
So the kickoff with a fair catch at the end of it to start the second half. The midshipmen will have the ball, and as promised, let's go down on the field to Stormy.
Well, Dave, Cincinnati head coach Luke Fickell did not mince words when we spoke at the half. He said, we've got to play a hell of a lot better, and that his message to the team was, we're in a dogfight. If we want something in this game, we've got to go take it, because this is a tough Navy team, and nothing is going to be handed to us. He did say, give them some credit, particularly defensively. Navy has done some things that we hadn't seen. We didn't react well, and we need to moving forward.
Okay, those are the words from the head coach Luke Fickell, who's done such a terrific job at Cincinnati. Has the Bearcats in a great position, but as a 4-touchdown favorite today, leading by just 3. The pitch play on first down as we start the second half, and it's a nice gain on the ground for the midshipmen.
Quarterback in that triple option is always reading the shoulders of the guy coming at him. If his shoulders turn, he's got to make a decision. Turn it up, pitch the ball. But when that guy stays square and doesn't move his shoulders, that can, confuse the quarterback a bit.
Now, those rush yards are pretty remarkable, I think, and not necessarily on the Navy side, although Cincinnati's got such a good defense. We wondered whether the midshipmen would be able to move the ball on the ground against the Bearcats, but especially Cincinnati. They gashed UCF last week on the ground. Have not been able to do that against Navy today. A short gain on second down. It'll be third and about a yard.
Well, if you're Cincy coming out in this second half, you want to start to show the dominance that's been expected. You know you're going to get the dive back. You're going to get the option. You have to start eliminating the fullback on that dive, because that is the key to the option.
These are the kind of plays that when you're facing Navy become so important. If you can stop the midshipmen, get the ball back, it changes the whole flow of the game with time of possession. They did not get it on third and short. It's fourth and about a half a yard. I assume Navy's going to go for it.
I would expect they would too. Niumatalolo has made it clear, it can be anywhere on the field. His fourth down philosophy is, we'll take chances. We want to discourage the defense.
And they will use a quarterback keeper. Lavatai gets the push from behind and got just enough for a Navy first down.
You agree with this? Over the last couple of weeks, we've had some pushback from coaches who are saying, look, I'm not completely all in on the analytics. For me, it takes a little bit more of gut feel, situation, and not just what the sheet says. You agree with that?
I think we have heard that from coaches, but I think the flip side is we've seen coaches behave differently this year, and even going back to the last couple years. It's much more common than it used to be for coaches to be daring and bold on fourth down.
I think that's true. I think the trend is really towards using analytics, using all four downs. And I think there is still the old school, the guys who were brought up a different way, who are still saying, look, I got to use my experience with it. I'm not just going to go by what the numbers say.
I mean, it's not really a new thing for Navy. I mean, Ken Niumatalolo, as long as he's been the head coach here, has had the philosophy of, if we can't get a yard or two, we're not going to win this game anyway. That's sort of the whole deal with this offense. Second down run straight ahead for Ruas, the fullback.
The other thing about playing an option team, when you're a defensive lineman, you have these offensive linemen diving in at you constantly, getting underneath you. And you get two of them, not just one, two of them. And that's how they get these 2, 3, 4 yards at a crack. And, you'll be a little bruised up, a little banged up tomorrow after a game like this.
Well, here's another one of those spots where for a normal team playing defense, it's 3rd and 4. If you're playing Navy, it's essentially 2nd and 4. Navy's going to take 2 plays, and they bang ahead to the 45. They're a yard, about a full yard short on 4th down. Another carry for Isaac Ruas, who is a semifinalist for the Campbell Trophy, awarding the college football player with the best combination of academics, community service, and on-field performance. Isaac's got all 3 of those boxes checked. 4th down, and Cincinnati jumps again. That's the second time in this game that they've done that on 4th down.
Offside. Defense number 21 with contact. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
We're not down there at the line of scrimmage, Rob, but it does make you think that maybe the cadence of the young quarterback Ty Lavatai is having something to do with it.
He's got something going on down there. He's gotten him to jump twice. Tried to make him sit. Yep. Looks like he was using some cadence.
So the midshipmen, who've only committed 1 penalty in this game, 5 of them on the Cincinnati side. And the option play for Lavatai got tackled after a gain of a yard.
Well, you're not going to run away from Sanders. If you are trying to get away from him, you have to block the backside. He is too fast, too quick. He will run down the quarterback every single time on that counter or even whirly bird option. You got to block him backside.
Well, he is a definite draft prospect, and he's a strong kid, but it's that speed that really makes him a special player on the edge of the Cincinnati defense. They got a lot of NFL prospects on this team. Fullback run into Cincinnati territory. I think that's part of the story of Cincinnati. They're playing in the American, not a Power 5 so-called conference, but they're up to number 2 with the talent of a lot of Power 5 teams.
Well, I think that's part of the argument. Should they win out, this would be a generational team, a team that dominated its conference, a team loaded with talent, a number of future NFL players. And do you want to be the committee member? Look back a few years and say, I didn't put that team in there.
3rd and 6 for Navy. First drive of the second half, and the handoff to Ruas, who stretched forward but only got, what, a couple yards. It's going to be 3rd and a long 3, a short 4. Does Navy go for it here? I think they do.
Yeah. This is not a surprise. We fully expect Navy to use all 4 downs at every opportunity.
And they're going to use a timeout because this is a big play in this game.
Navy's called their first time out of the half. Full media timeout.
It's a long way to go in this one, but Navy's facing 4th and 4, down 3 in the second half when we come back. Of AAC action coming up on ESPN Plus. Football, volleyball, cross country. If you're an AAC American fan, you got to have it. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com/AAC. Got to get up early for those cross country championships on Friday. Here we go. Out of the timeout, Navy 4th and 4. First drive of the second half. Down, trying to pull off a huge upset against the number 2 ranked team in the country. Lavatai under center, using a hard count. This time so far, Cincinnati stays put. They'll pitch it out to the right side, and that one was played beautifully by the Bearcats defense. Joel DeBlanco and company. They saw it coming, and they stuffed Navy for a loss. It's first down, Cincinnati.
Well, the one thing you can't do is try to get to the edge to a defense that is fast, and they don't give up the edge. You're playing right into their hands. This is a fast-flowing defense. DeBlanco in the middle of that screen, circled. He flows quickly, and the edge is really sealed off there by pace. You can't get outside. There's so much trust with this defense. You know you're going to be where you're supposed to. Pace is going to be outside. DeBlanco's going to come from the inside.
And it seems like a simple thing, but they did stay on sides. They didn't jump.
No.
Of course, now they jump on offense.
False start. Offense number 51. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
That's big ol' Lorenz Metz, the native of Germany, who's 6'9", 329. Don't get in his way.
Ah, sprechen Sie Deutsch. Ein bisschen.
You and he would get along very well, I think. You're the only analyst I can confidently say at ESPN and probably across the country who speaks fluent German.
I read it better than I speak it these days.
Well, all right, I'll qualify it. You're the only one who can read it either.
You got to get more practice in.
Jerome Ford, I would imagine that at halftime, part of Cincinnati's emphasis was, where's number 24? We got to get him the ball.
Yep, I think he is such a big part of this offense.
Ritter throws that pass, and it was well defended, complete into Navy territory. Alec Pierce with the catch, a little bit short by about a yard.
You know, Cincy can probably win this game with their offense relying on the tight ends, but if they're going to have a special season, Ford has to be a big part of it. Big part of it. Running and catching. It's got to be more than Ritter, but Ford has to be a big part of that equation.
So 3rd and a yard for the Bearcats. They will give it to Jerome Ford straight ahead. First down, Cincinnati.
He's dynamic. Great speed, great balance, runs through arm tackles, can catch the ball out of the backfield. Said he's got a secret weapon, secret source of energy.
And
cucumbers, vinegar,
wow,
salt and pepper. He's a veggie guy.
Up the middle, there
you
goes
go.
Ford.
Yep.
Out into the open with the power and the speed combo. Touchdown, Bearcats.
Touchdown, Cincinnati.
Eat more cucumbers. 43 yards. Touchdown, Jerome Ford.
Don't forget the vinegar and a little touch of salt and pepper. He read that perfectly. We were just talking about his big play capability. Right side, he reads the blocks perfectly. Great block inside by Renfro, the center. And it doesn't take much to get Ford going. And that's the difference. He is the big play guy for this offense. And if they're going to have a special season, he's got to have a special season.
Well, both have been true so far. 3 rushes already in the second half, 55 yards. Now the touchdown, the extra point is up and good. And Cincinnati is starting to take control of this game.
And no surprise, Ford is behind him. Keep on trucking. That guy, maybe he should be in that Heisman race.
Well, nice job by the running back and the Cincy offensive line. Our pocket protection is brought to you by Nationwide.
Yeah, really clean job and a terrific job of getting out, opening the holes, getting the linebacker, giving Ford a clean avenue, and he shows you that incredible speed. But it was done up front, that right side of the offensive line, and a little help from Jake Renfro, the center.
Bang the drum, a Cincinnati touchdown. The number 2 ranked team in the country starting to look a little more like it, and Jerome Ford is just a big part of this Cincy team. From Tampa, Florida, was a top 300 recruit when he came out of high school, went to Alabama, played there 2 years, got some playing time, was productive when he had a chance to play, but has totally busted out with the Bearcats, especially last week, the huge game against UCF. So now Cincinnati up by 10. The kick return for the midshipman out to the 25-yard line. And for more on Jerome Ford, let's go down to Stormy.
Well, Ford is a little bit of a quiet character, guys, but he's also kind of sneaky funny. He told me when he gets the football, he thinks of it as having all of the team's hopes and dreams in his hands. And so his mentality is just to run fast, don't get tackled, and to score. And clearly it worked out pretty well on that last one.
All the hopes and dreams wrapped up in that little pigskin.
He's going to get a lot of chances to carry the hopes and dreams of this team. They have a legitimate shot at getting into the playoff.
I mean, he's very happy. The Cincinnati program has just fit him beautifully. A really talented young player. So Navy's offense now down 10, 20-10 with 7.5 minutes to go, third quarter. Not like Navy's really going to change the offensive game plan. James Harris straight ahead. They can't.
No. It's one size fits all, and right now, Joel DeBlanco, inside linebacker number 41, and Javon Hicks, the safety, they are feasting. DeBlanco with 10 tackles, few tackles for losses.
You know, it sounds silly to make a big deal out of it, but it's such a big difference when it's 2nd and 8 for Navy as opposed to 2nd and 6.
Yep.
I mean, just the difference of a couple yards on first down, second down makes a huge difference. The pitch play and the pursuit there from the Bearcats defense to drag the ball carrier down. It'll be 3rd and long. That's the speed of Jay Sanders again.
Look, going outside just doesn't work. They don't have anybody as fast as Sanders, and Sanders is 255 pounds. You're just not going to win, particularly to his side. And if you're going to run away from him, you got to turn somebody back to block him, because he will chase you down from behind.
He's one of the fastest players on the field. He's a defensive end.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So now 3rd and 7 for the midshipmen, and they're going to hand the ball off straight ahead for a short gain. Ruas outside the 30, and it might be punt time for the midshipmen. Nice stop from Cincinnati's defense.
Yep, no choice. Got to kick it. And since he's starting to get into that rhythm, starting to assert themselves, the first down stop was critical. And now you're in that range where a punt and a good series by Cincy can start the snowball.
Yeah, it may be rolling down the hill already. We'll see. Still a long way to go. But Navy is not built to come from behind. A low line drive punt, and this one very returnable. The Bearcats are going to get great field position into Navy territory with Ryan Montgomery, who came up aggressively to take that one before it hit the turf. So we will step aside. That Cincinnati offense back on the field, up 20-10 when we come back to Annapolis. Great day of college football today, including Saturday Night Football presented by Capital One in the Big Ten from Bloomington. Number 5 Ohio State at Indiana. That one will start at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on ABC. Best chance to reach the college football playoff according to FPI. Entering today, Georgia's got the overwhelming odds. Oklahoma and then Cincinnati slided right in there alongside the Sooners. Handoff for Jerome Ford. The Bearcats offense starting to roll here. Well, Cincinnati gets the ball back, and Cincinnati is hoping. I mean, we said it earlier. They're hoping for some chaos. Who knows? Maybe we get some chaos today. Oklahoma's still trailing in Lawrence.
It could happen, but Cincy is going to have a big matchup later with SMU. They might actually see them twice in the AAC championship game, if not Houston.
And SMU's good. Ritter across the middle, incomplete. Pierce went up to catch it. It got knocked away by Mikey McMorris. Good play by him.
Really good play by McMorris, who is only 5'9", giving a lot up to Pierce, who's 6'3", with a huge vertical jump. When you're in a situation like this, you got to get up quickly, and he does. That's a good, clean play. You have the right to go for the ball. All good. I still think, in my view, number 2 team in the country is Alabama.
Ritter will go into a slide. A little bit of contact there, but no penalty flag.
And I think if the committee were putting out rankings today, I think the committee would have Alabama ahead of Cincy at number 2 because of the strength of schedule.
We're going to find out, a week from Tuesday? We get the first of those committee playoff rankings. Very big, important data set.
I think the committee will have Cincy in the top 4 if everything stays as it is. I just think the committee will have Alabama at number 2, even with the 1 loss.
3rd and 8 for the Bearcats. Some pressure comes. Ritter gets hit, throws it up, and it's incomplete. Intended for Trey Tucker. Now a penalty flag in the backfield. This one may be against the midshipman.
Maybe a late hit. They brought pressure.
Nope, it's against Cincinnati.
Oh, wow. Cincy has not done a good job of picking up pressure. Now, they had the same issue last week against UCF. UCF blitzed them inside, and they blitzed them off the same left side of the offensive line. And they haven't been good at picking those up.
So Navy, they're trying to get word whether Navy wants a penalty or not.
56. Penalty is declined. It's 4th down.
So we have our answer. It's declined. It's 4th down and 10, and we'll see what the Bearcats do. You're inside the 35.
Hardly not the place you want to punt, right?
I mean, you're not gaining much.
Yeah, that's Renfro. Renfro's your guy who just reaches out and makes a complete grab of Cromwell, 97, as the pressure was coming free on that outside left side.
Well, offense coming back on the field. Yeah. Still 10 seconds on the play clock, so Cincinnati's got to get organized here, but then they got to get the ball snapped on 4th down and 10. They do get it snapped. More pressure. Ritter throws, and it's caught. And that's going to be enough for a 1st down. A leaping grab by Alec Pierce. You talked about his vertical. It's 1st and 10 Bearcats.
Yeah, you get single coverage. Throw it up to him. Now, the surprise was that Navy allowed single coverage with him. In this situation, he is the go-to guy. And you can't lay off and you can't play him with a single man. Not in that situation.
Good play by Pierce. So that's big conversion. Now Ford gets the carry and got hit hard. I think that was Diego Fagot, who's such a good player at middle linebacker. Maybe the best overall player on this Navy football team. Number 54.
Very honestly told us that it is a challenge working through the Naval Academy, but that it is worth it. The people here make it worth it for him, but make no mistake about it. It is hard work.
Not a lot of smiles and giggles, according to Diego Fagot, which I think you would assume, knowing what these midshipmen go through at the Naval Academy. Ritter in the pocket for a long time, and that one is caught. But again, the open field tackle there, and it is once again Fagot.
Dropped 8. Didn't want to give up anything deep. Keep the ball in front of you. Make Ritter check it down.
I don't know if these were his exact words, but essentially, there's really nothing fun about being at the Naval Academy.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean it's not rewarding.
Right. Yeah, he's a guy who went from homeschooling to the Naval Academy. That's it. Ooh, man, what a transition.
Yeah, incredible. Third down. This pass out to the left side and another catch out of the open field. This time Tyler Scott, the tackle right near the mark, and I think they got the first down.
Yeah, that's another free access throw. You can't lay off 10 yards. You lay off that far because you want to keep the ball in front. You're giving them a first down. There's no issue with it. And Ritter looked up and said, I'll take it.
Still pretty modest numbers today for Desmond Ritter. But he and Cincinnati, I mean, they were down 10-7. It was tied right before half. Bearcats went into the locker room with a 3-point lead. They've expanded that, and they've started to take control of the game. That was well defended on both sides. Tailback and quarterback by Navy. Fago gets the tackle.
Yeah, there's that man again. All-conference linebacker that last year.
He is. He's two-time all-conference player. Got some votes in some circles for preseason All-American awards. Doesn't happen that often for a Navy player. He comes across, when you talk to him, doesn't he, like the quintessential midshipman.
Yeah, and he wants to be a Marine. I'm sure he will be.
Second down and 11. Ford straight ahead. Ford inside the 5. Tough running from Jerome Ford, who's come to life in the second half. It's going to be first and goal Bearcats, and they're coming up to the line of scrimmage quickly. Ritter keeps it, dumps it short, tight end Wiley, touchdown. His second of the game. They said they were going to try to get him more involved. He's been very involved. Cincinnati punches it in from 3 yards out. Josh Wiley.
Nice, easy play. They've been running that split zone action all day where the tight end comes across Wiley, and this time he just dumped the ball to him. Big day for him. 2 touchdown passes. Navy completely fooled by all that.
He's a local kid, Josh Wiley, who grew up in Cincinnati, had a chance to go play just about anywhere. He's one of the most highly ranked recruits in the history of this Cincinnati program. Just a really talented player. He had 1 touchdown all year before. Today he's got 2 this afternoon here in Annapolis.
And you can feel it here starting to get away from Navy. You know, they haven't been able to mount a drive in the second half, and it all goes back to the end of the first half when they botched the potential field goal to get them ahead in the game and allowed Cincy to get the momentum with their own field goal with 1 second to go, and it's been all Cincy since then.
Yeah, Navy was inspired early and on both sides of the ball playing well, but I think you're right. The end of half sequence was such a disaster. I mean, you figure it's only about a 6-point swing if you think you're going to make a reasonable field goal. Instead, you give up the field goal, but it felt like more than that.
It's the mentality. It's that you outplayed them for the first half and you go in down when you should have gone in at least tied and probably ahead by 3.
And Cincinnati's good. I mean, it was going to take just about everything going right for Navy to come up with a win. Fair catch on the kickoff, so the midshipmen will get the ball back. First, let's check in studio with Kevin.
All right, Flem, after Oklahoma cut it to 10-7, Kansas answers E. 4th and 1, it's Devin Neal.
Big boy football clearing the path, but then Oklahoma answers. Watch this RPO, drag it out. Really good shot there. Dangerous throw.
Caleb Williams to Jeremiah Hall. 17-14, Kansas. Flem.
Well, unlike in this game, Kevin and Eric, I mean, the Jayhawks go to the fourth quarter still feeling like, hey, we got a chance to pull off what would be a monumental upset. This would have been, and I'm not saying there's no chance left, but for Navy now down 17, final minute of the third quarter, the chances are starting to slip away.
Well, if Navy doesn't mount a drive now, I'm going to say chance is over.
Yeah.
They need to answer.
The problem is they just aren't equipped to go quick tempo, so the clock starts to be their real enemy. A throw on first down and the completion to Michael Cooper, the captain of captains on this Navy football team.
What does that mean?
He is the captain, one of the captains on football, but he's also designated as the leader among all the captains of all the athletic
All the
teams
sports.
here at the Naval Academy.
That's pretty cool.
So it's a true leadership position.
6'5", 220 pounds.
A big kid who's mostly blocked in his career. When you're a receiver in Navy, you got to be selfless. From San Antonio, straight ahead run on first down for the fullback Ruas. Let's go down to Stormy.
Well, guys, and Ken Niumatalolo told us too that he's just a salt of the earth. Great guy Michael Cooper is. He said that he even picks up Coach Niumatalolo, and for a team that's really struggled this year, he's been right there. He's the best type of young man that the academy has to offer.
Stormy, is it true he's the best dancer on the team?
I had not heard that rumor.
Ah, that rumor is out there.
Yeah. Serious on the field, not so serious off the field. Michael Cooper with the catch. So now the final seconds of the third quarter will tick off the clock. Navy controlled the first half largely. Cincinnati controlled the third quarter. 2 touchdowns for the Bearcats. Jerome Ford with some big plays on the ground. Josh Wiley, who's got a couple touchdowns today, the tight end for the Bearcats. We go to quarter number 4. Taco Bell welcomes you to the Live Más Student Section Contest of the Year. Go to ESPN.com/Taco Bell to see how your school can compete, or use the hashtag #StudentSectionSauce to get the committee's attention. Not much like the Brigade March On here in Annapolis, and the midshipmen doing the push-ups after the first touchdown of the game. They're here in great spirit today. Their Navy team put up a real fight against Cincinnati, but their chances of coming up with an enormous upset are slipping away. As we start the fourth quarter, Dave Fleming, Rod Gilmore, Stormy Bonatoni, number 2 Cincinnati with a 27-10 lead over Navy, with third down coming up.
Yeah, they're down 3 scores, and that is in my view, the defining mark. That's when you start to push the option teams out of their normal game plan. So they need a drive here. They need to make this third down. They need to score to keep themselves in position to challenge Cincy.
You can look at that play sheet all day long, but Ken Niumatalolo is not going to find, down big in the fourth quarter, not going to find a lot of play calls that fit that script. Here's the pitch on the outside, and again, Cincinnati has started to defend that so much better after a couple successful plays early in the game. That was Daniel Jones.
Well, we've been saying it all day long. It's hard to get to the edge, and Brian Cook comes up and makes that play. And if Cook hadn't been there, Gardner, the great cover corner, was there to make the tackle as well. It's hard to run outside on these guys, particularly when they are so far superior in speed and athleticism.
Daniel Jones might be the fastest player on Navy's team, but not fast enough. So it's 4th and 4. Navy's going to punt the ball back. Better punt here, sending Montgomery back, and he'll get tackled at about the 15. Now a penalty flag is down. Back closer to the original line of scrimmage.
During the kick, holding, return team number 20. Half the distance to the goal from the end of the kick. First down, timeout on the field.
So that's against Cincinnati. Bearcats will have the ball when we come back to Annapolis. They have taken control of this game, leading 27-10. Well, we did want to spotlight a very important person in the history of Navy football, Navy athletics. The first African-American to play football here at the Naval Academy, Calvin Huey.
Was born in Mississippi in 1942. When he was 19 years old, the U.S. Marshals enforced a court order allowing the first black student, James Meredith, to enroll at Ole Miss. Huey got a California representative to nominate him for the Naval Academy, where he earned 2 varsity letters in football, graduated in '67, earned a PhD in chemistry in 1973. Huey served in the Navy until '97 and passed away at 75 in 2018. And you can see how the numbers have grown over the years for the Naval Academy becoming more diverse.
And I think it is a goal for the folks here in Annapolis to grow that diversity even more so. But Calvin Huey, very important figure in the history of Navy football. Part of some of the all-time greatest Navy teams, alongside one of their 2 Heisman Trophy winners, Roger Staubach. The Navy's had 2 of them.
Yeah, he played with Roger Staubach back in the day as a wide receiver. He was on the 1964 team with Roger the Dodger.
One of the great players in college football history, Roger Staubach.
Can't think of Navy without thinking about Roger Staubach. And hopefully folks will remember Calvin Huey as well.
Wow, almost intercepted. Ritter was trying to hit the tight end, and that was close. Now that might have changed the game. Nicholas Straw, defensive end, who's from right around Cincinnati, local kid. You know he would like to have that one back.
Yeah, that would have changed the dynamic of the game. Tight ends all day long. He's in great position. He had himself a pick 6.
He's going to be thinking about that one for a while. It was an excellent play.
Great play.
But especially playing against his hometown school. A play that would have given Navy a chance.
Too far off these receivers.
3rd down, Ritter's going to run. And with a blocker ahead, takes a pretty big hit out to the 15. Got stopped short. So Navy gets the stop. It's 4th down coming up. And I would assume that Luke Fickell doesn't want to take any chances with a big lead.
Why would you? I was surprised that they didn't throw it because Navy was playing so soft. Ritter could have raised up and simply thrown to a receiver and easily picked up the 1st down.
Well, it's not been an explosive day. I mean, this is a Cincinnati team that for the first time in program history is coming off back-to-back games with 50 or more points. A much different feeling game today for the Cincinnati offense. Still in control. Bearcats punt, fair catch. Navy gets the ball back.
How do you feel about this 4th quarter? I got a question for you when we come back about how Cincy plays this 4th quarter.
All right.
Style points, son.
Good transition.
Style points.
To the break. That's a little tease. 27-10. We'll be right back.
Kevin and Eric in studio. Wake Army has been bonkers. Eric, Sam Hartman here to Keyshawn Williams.
That slow riding RPO, and then Caleb Williams does the rest. Really a great job by Sam riding that thing out, getting the defense to come forward. 6 points later, here we are.
Army, though, has just scored. Flem, it's a 1-touchdown game.
Wow. All right. So keep us posted on that one. Meanwhile, here, not a 1-score game anymore. 27-10. Dave Fleming, Rod Gilmore back with you here. All right, Rod, you were asking a question as we went to break.
Yeah, style points. You feel like you need them if you're Cincy. We want dominance, but style points become a little controversial.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I feel like they need style points. I think they need to win and win convincingly. How that looks, I'm not sure. I think sort of the point of the discussion is Cincinnati is in a rare position. I mean, they have a good chance this year to be the first Group of 5 team to make the college football playoff. But the schedule's not going to provide a ton of opportunities remaining.
Nope.
With an injured player down on the field, the schedule's not going to provide a lot of opportunities for Cincinnati to come up with signature wins. So they need to win and win impressively in order to make their case.
Well, they need game control, too, and they haven't had game control today. They didn't control the first half. You know, they're starting to take control of the second half, but you look at that schedule, and the public is going to look at it and say, well, you should dominate these teams. You're not going to have a big game, a close game, until maybe SMU.
Yeah, and I mean, not even the public. How about the computers? I mean, the computers are a big factor for the playoff committee.
Yeah, they'll be looking at that, and they'll look at how much of the game did you control. And separately, you know, for those of us who don't care about style points, game control is more important. But there are a lot of folks who simply want to know how much did you beat them by. I mean, there's some interested people in that as well. But really, do you win by the predicted 4 touchdowns? Does that make people happy? Or is it good enough that you win by 17 points when you're the number 2 team on the road at a team that has won 1 game? You're expected to dominate.
And hoping to stay healthy as well. I think this is Brian Cook, safety, who's really played well today and played well this year. Replacing James Wiggins, who was an All-American safety for Luke Fickell.
Yeah, he's an important player for them. He plays that nickelback spot. They use him as a safety, as a nickel. He's often around the line of scrimmage. He is an excellent tackler. So big with what they do. 4th on the team in tackles.
He landed on that down marker.
Yeah, there so much can happen on the sideline there. I don't know why we still have the same equipment over there that we've been using for 500 years.
I think it's a fair question. High tech has not come to first down land.
Nope.
In football.
Nope. It should.
It looked like Cook starting to pick up the pace coming off the field. That would seem to me to be a good sign. Navy's going to throw the ball. A little misdirection and a nice pass and completion for a big gain down the left sideline. That's Kai Pueloa Rojas, who's had a couple big plays in the passing game for the midshipmen.
Rojas ran a similar route earlier, sneaking out. You see him going from our left to right. Just behind the defensive line. It's worked a couple of times.
So maybe Navy's not done just quite yet. Lavatai keeps it on the option. That was a good decision inside the 30, down close to the 26.
That's the best read he's made on that situation, where you've got Cincy flowing to the outside, taking away the pitch, and instead of just pitching right into it, he turned it up. That's a really smart play, smart decision there.
I think he's played pretty well today overall.
Agreed.
Well, that was a pretty big hit at the end of that. That's one thing about keeping it as the option quarterback. You're going to take a pounding. Under center on 2nd down. The fullback, that's James Harris. Well, I think it goes without saying we're down to close to 10 minutes to go in this one. If Navy has any chance, they have to get to the end zone here.
They could put some pressure on Cincy by finishing this drive. Right now they're having trouble handling Beavers inside and Dublanco. Those guys are using their strength and their quickness to make it difficult on the fullback inside. The fullback was able to get some things early in this game, not so much lately.
3rd and 2. Another option play. Lavatai gets the first down inside the 20. Navy on the move.
You know, when we talk about what's wrong with the Navy offense, the quarterback play, the quarterback segment of the option has not been as explosive as it has been in the past. And you would expect that with an inexperienced guy who didn't run the option in high school. He's got to get 100% comfortable with the reads. They've got to become more natural for him.
Yeah, you can totally, what you're saying is so true. You can totally understand why it's not natural yet. But that is the missing piece in a lot of ways for this Navy offense. They believe it's going to come.
Well, and you can do it all you want in practice. But in a game, you know, when the emotions go, the adrenaline's going, everything happens a lot faster. You know, you have to feel it. You just can't go, okay, if I see his shoulder move this way, I keep. No, you just have to know.
2nd down, Navy. Inside the Cincinnati 15-yard line. Option again, Lavatai. This time not much there. Got back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe got a yard. It's 3rd down. Just a minute ago we saw that shot of the head coach, Niumatalolo. Not often you see a Navy head coach giving the come on, speed it up, let's go, a little quicker sign. That doesn't happen very often here. But that clock is not the friend of the midshipmen.
Not unless they can score quickly here and get a quick stop.
Lavatai again keeps it down to the 10. Well, I mean, Navy could kick the field goal here. Looks like that's what they're going to decide to do. I mean, there's no real good decision.
No, that's the smart play. Cut it to a 2-score game. And think about what your options are. Do you want to take another chance and do an onside kick or a pooch kick as they've done earlier in the game? or do you want to try and send your defense out to get a quick 3 and out?
So the field goal, 27-yard attempt coming up. Kick is up, and this one is good. Penalty flag at the end of the play. So a flag thrown. Looked to me like it came in pretty late. See what the call is.
Results of the play was a field goal again. After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, Navy number 67. The penalty will be enforced 15 yards on the kickoff. Timeout on the field.
Okay, so the lead is down to 14 for the number 2 ranked team in the country. And we will take a timeout here from Annapolis. 27-13 to score with 7:34 to go. And we didn't take a break. We're still with you. Glad he didn't go anywhere. From Annapolis, it is 27-13. Cincinnati. Luke Fickell's team has been dominant these last few weeks. Wins against Indiana, a really impressive road win against Notre Dame. They sort of set the stage for what has a chance to be a really special year for Cincinnati football. This week again, another new high point, highest ranked that the Bearcats have ever been in their long distinguished football history. But this has not been as dominant of a performance, and you got to give Navy some credit for that. Now Navy has to kick off here from the 20 after the penalty, so they're going to kind of pooch it short, but this is returnable. So much for the onside kick possibility. That penalty really changed the equation. The Bearcats will have it right near midfield, up by 14.
Can Navy get a stop?
They need one badly. Well, tonight on Top Rank Boxing, live from Atlanta, main event, Jamel Herring against undefeated Shakur Stevenson for the junior lightweight title, plus Muhammad Ali's grandson Nico back in the ring. Main card starts at 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and the ESPN app.
Joe Tessitore will be there, and nobody knows more and is more insightful on boxing than Joe Tess. Loves it. I love watching him do it.
7:26 to go here. So you're looking for a stop from the Naval Academy. Pass caught out on the left side. That's Tyler Scott. And a nice gain on first down.
Yeah, those free access throws are available. Navy's playing 10 yards off. All Ritter has to do is raise up and throw it.
In a way, Cincinnati could have probably taken more advantage of that today.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. He just looked to this side, and now they're trying to move up and try and take that away. But you just can't give that to a quarterback like Ritter. If he wants it, he could take it all day long, and they probably should have.
I would think Cincinnati would be very happy just to let the play clock wind down before they snap every play. Ford, basically no gain. It'll be third down. Big strides for the Navy defense, which has been torched a few times this year. They played much better today.
More spirit, better tackling. This is the pressure that Cincy has struggled with. Coming off that left side, having one guy come free. Now they move him to the left side of the defense.
3rd and 3. That pressure came. Ford had nowhere to go. He goes backwards. He lost a few yards back to the 45. Now a penalty flag, 2 of them in fact, at the end of the play, maybe against Cincinnati. So the Bearcats were in a position where they might have gone for it and tried to sort of put the game away. may not be the case anymore.
Yeah, Evan Gibbons has been having a nice game.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Offense number 50, 15-yard penalty. It's 4th down.
Yeah. That's a little life. Well, Gibbons, number 15, has been the guy bringing the pressure most of the evening from the left side of the offensive line. And they moved him around, got him over to the other side, and he was unaccounted for, and it freed up a couple of other guys as well.
And just a totally unnecessary penalty there against Dylan O'Quinn. So that pushes Cincinnati back into their own territory, and a stop that Navy needed. Now, are their chances of winning good? They're not, but Navy still has a heartbeat in this game because of that sequence. Cincinnati special teams, they too letting time wind down, trying to pin Navy deep. This one's going to go out of bounds. No, it'll be picked up on a bounce by Warren just to save maybe a few yards. And a penalty flag here, and that might have been Chance Warren, who threw the ball at the Bearcats sideline. He may have been penalized.
Can't do that. Chance Warren, one of the team leaders.
Captain.
One of the guys who wants to be a Navy pilot.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, Navy number 0, his first of the game. After the distance to the goal, 1st down, timeout on the field.
That'll get you kicked out of the Top Gun school too.
Not good. So Navy, after the stop, won't have good field position after this taunting penalty against Chance Warren, but the midshipmen get the ball back when we return to Annapolis. Coming up in the American on ESPN Plus, you got volleyball, you got cross country, you got college football tonight, 7 Eastern, Temple and South Florida. If you're an AAC fan, you got to have it. Sign up today at espnplus.com/AAC. Beautiful scenes from Annapolis, Maryland. Navy down 2 touchdowns, poor field position, will run the ball on 1st down, and they have to hurry.
They have to hurry, but they still have to be who they are. You know, they can't just drop back and start throwing it. I would expect the game plan to be, look, let's just worry about getting this first score and as quickly as we can, and then an onside kick.
That's probably the only path to a win for the midshipmen, who played a great first half, really controlled most of the first half. It was tied late. They really did not handle the end of half sequence on either side very well. So the Bearcats of Cincinnati went into the locker room leading 13-10. Cincinnati totally dominated the 3rd quarter. In the 4th quarter, Navy's played well again, but maybe too little too late.
Well, give the Navy defense a lot of credit. You know, to come in and hold a Cincinnati team to 27 points so far in this ball game.
I mean, Cincinnati has 272 yards of offense.
Yeah, it's not like it's been fluky. You know, they've tackled well. They've disguised their pressures well. They've made it difficult for Ritter. They made him uncomfortable. They got to him a couple times.
Lavatai under center will pitch it out left side. The Bearcats have defended that so well, and the big hit on the perimeter there.
I don't know. I guess you got to try it every now and then, but have you seen it work?
Early in the game, it worked maybe a time or two in the 1st quarter.
They had the one counter that worked to get to the edge, but when you just straight go to the perimeter, these guys are so well coordinated. If I've got the outside, I stay outside, and I trust that my guy who has the inside is coming inside to outside. They do not mess that up.
3rd scoring defense. Well, Navy's trying it again, and again the Bearcats wasn't quite as perfect, but still well defended, short of the 1st down.
Yeah.
So Navy's got 4th down and 5 here, deep in their own territory with 3.5 minutes to go. No choice but to go for it.
Yep. But again, back to the edge, and Pace was in perfect position. He had to replace the corner who took off in man coverage. So the edge, they always secure the edge.
Reason they're the 3rd best scoring defense in all of college football. Back to pass on 4th down. That throw is right there, completed for a 1st down and plenty more. Ty Lavatai, he has made some good throws. That's not 50 yards down the field, but that was right on the money to Chance Warren.
It's the same little delay circle route they've run all game, and it's been there. Allow the defensive line to make a little pressure, get in behind them, and just come across the middle of the field, and you're wide open.
He's 8 of 9 throwing the ball. That's pretty impressive. That's only 83 yards. He's going to throw it here, and that one was caught, I think. Yeah, it did not hit the turf. To the 45. Navy's got to go.
I don't think they know how to go fast.
No, I mean that's why they just are not a good come from behind team. This offense not at all built for it. That throw is incomplete. Pressure was coming. So Lavatai, that was a smart decision. Throw it away, stop the clock. It's 3rd and 3.
Go pick up the first down, get yourself in position for that, and get a new set of fresh downs, and maybe you can take another throw in there, but they need to pick this up. And the clock is really starting to run on them. 2:20 right now.
Another pitch, and Warren gets upended, tackled short of the line of scrimmage. Ty Van Fossen's made some nice plays here in the 4th quarter, especially. It's 4th down. Navy stops the clock.
Yeah, that's fool's gold out there.
Timeout, Navy. They're 2nd of the half. Immediate timeout on the field.
So we will take a timeout with the midshipmen and come back for the final 2 minutes. Cincinnati trying to escape Annapolis up 27-13. Well, before we finish today, we would be remiss. It's been a year of news. It's been a week of news in the American. Starting the season, those are the members of the American Conference. Of course, on September 10th, 3 of those members accepted invitations. You can't blame them to join the Big 12, Cincinnati, Houston, and UCF. Then this week, Thursday, there were 6 programs offered and accepting invites to join the American Conference, spanning the map. So this conference in a couple of years is going to look a lot different. That was 4th down. Navy converts to midfield with just about 2 minutes to go in this one. Down 2 touchdowns. Chances are slim for the midshipmen, despite the way that they played today against the number 2 ranked Bearcats of Cincinnati.
I like the move that the AAC made. I thought under the circumstances it was the best move they could have made. They still have a presence in Florida and a presence in Texas, 2 football big areas.
Yeah, USF is remaining, but you're right. It sort of adds another Florida team for a potential rivalry in FAU. You get North Texas and Rice to join SMU in the state of Texas.
Listen, and there are a lot of good football players in the state of Texas and Florida, and that helps with that pipeline to have that connection to bring a couple more teams in.
UAB and Memphis has a chance to be. I mean, they've played a lot over the years. That could be a rivalry in the American Conference.
Yeah.
No date set yet.
Under the circumstances, it was the best thing they could have done.
Lavatai gets dragged down here on 2nd down, going backwards with the clock running. Curtis Brooks has made some big plays for the Cincinnati defense.
Well, when you play an option team and you hold them to 13 points, you know, you've done a really good job. That inside part of the Cincinnati defense, you mentioned Curtis Brooks, big game for him, but DeBlanco inside and Hicks also inside. Tremendous games. We didn't get a chance to see much or talk much about the outstanding corners. We didn't expect that in a game like this where they weren't going to be challenged. But the linebackers and the safeties were just dominant against the triple option.
10 tackles for loss against Navy. That's a good number. That's a big number.
Big number.
The question today, more on the offensive side, because to me, that's what has separated Cincinnati the last couple of years. Their defense was solid 3-4 years ago, more than solid probably. And it took a while for the offense to catch up. It took a while for Desmond Ridder to get more experience, to recruit some weapons on the outside to go along with their defense. And so going forward, I mean, I don't think anybody questions Cincinnati on the defensive side of the ball. Today is a day where you might start to wonder about that offensive side of the ball.
Well, 27 points does make you wonder. I still believe that for Cincinnati for them to be a playoff team, Jerome Ford's going to have a big hand in that with his ability to run and catch the ball out of the backfield. And Ritter's going to have to make some plays down the field.
Nice pass from Lavatai into Cincinnati territory. Navy has used all 3 of its timeouts, but still some time left on the clock.
Yep. Can they get to the end zone quickly?
Well, I don't think they can run the ball anymore.
That's exactly why they will.
Back to pass over the top into coverage and intercepted inside the 5. The interception for Cincinnati. Now there is a penalty flag in the backfield, so this one might be coming off the board. Is it possible that was roughing the passer?
Could be. That was a
personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense number 99. 15-yard penalty from the previous foul. First down.
Marcus Brown, number 99.
Yeah, Marcus Brown gets in there. Yep, anytime you get up around the head, that's an automatic. Doesn't have to look like much, but getting your hand, your shoulder, anything up around the quarterback's head, that is an automatic one. Easy call for the official. Negates a great play by Cook to come up with a pick.
And it is good to see Brian Cook back on the field. He limped off a few moments ago earlier in the 4th quarter. 1:20 to go, 27-13. If Navy can somehow get it in, then at least you have a prayer for an onside kick and maybe a heave at the end of the game, something like that. Lavatai, a little pump fake. Now he throws high, incomplete.
You know, they just don't have enough in their passing attack. Now, you may recall that earlier this season, they fired an assistant coach who was in charge of their run-pass option game. So they never really developed that part of their offense. He was fired because he chose not to get the vaccine, and so they don't have him. And so the reps, what they do in the passing game, is pretty limited. And now they're facing 2 outstanding corners.
Yeah, not easy to complete passes against those corners. Penalty flags thrown. That was Ahmad Gardner with the coverage. The pass was caught by Cooper out of bounds, but that was a lot of flags all in the same area. Everybody was throwing the flag out there.
Cooper is 6'5", and Gardner has not given up a touchdown in his career.
Pass interference. Defense number 1. 15-yard penalty. Correction. The ball be placed at the 2-yard line. First down.
Wow.
All right, so Navy has it. Now they're down 2 touchdowns, not 1. This would be a lot more dramatic if this were a 1-score game, but with a minute 11 to go.
Well, if they can push this one in quickly and recover an onside kick, you've got some late game drama. At least there will be the possibility if they get this and recover an onside kick, they'll get a chance to throw it into the end zone.
Lavatai under center here, and he will keep it, try to push it in. He didn't get there, so now the clock moves and Navy doesn't have a timeout. Navy's got to get lined up.
Got to move faster than that.
From the 1.
Got to move faster than that.
Lavatai dives in. Touchdown, Navy. Game not quite over. 50 seconds to go.
You got to believe that folks around the country seeing this score is wondering, is Cincy the number 2 team in the country? Does the number 2 team in the country go to Navy, a team that's 1-5, and eke out maybe at best a 7-point win?
I mean, Navy with that drive, they have outgained the Bearcats today, 307 yards to 272. That took 16 plays, but they get it in. The extra point is up and good. So it does set up, at the very least, some drama on the kickoff.
Exactly. You've got a shot with an onside kick. Now, how do you want to play that? Do you want to go for a true onside kick? Do you want to drill it at one of the up men? Do you want to pooch it over the head of that first line and hope that you can recover it? But just stepping back again from the big picture, however this turns out, let's assume that Cincy hangs on here, there'll be a lot of people looking at this going, they weren't dominant. They were favored by 28 points. They didn't control the game in the first half. Here we are in the second quarter, and they're hanging on. And that's not a great look when you are trying to sell the public and the committee that you are a generational group of 5 team that deserves to be in the playoff.
There are only a few people for whom that really opinion actually matters, but they're very important. Daniel Davies is going to be the guy, the holder, the punter, who's going to be the onside kick specialist here. Navy has to recover. If they don't, the game's going to be over. But they're only down 7 with 50 seconds to go.
Pooch it over the head of that first line.
It doesn't look like that's what they're set up for, but they have tried a couple different style kickoffs in this game. All right, so here we go. And they're going to change directions. The ball takes a big hop, and Navy had it. I think they recovered it.
Are you kidding me?
Navy's got the football with 48 seconds to go. Jamal Glenn, I think, was the guy who finally came up with the ball. They changed directions at the last second. It was a very well executed onside kick. And Cincinnati, really nobody went for the ball.
No.
Ruling on the field was a legal recovery by Navy. 1st and 10.
They didn't have a second unit, second wave behind the first guys. They had 2 guys in the middle and had a long way to run to get there. Navy switching at the last second.
So they are going to review this, make sure that the kick was legal. I don't think there's any question about the recovery, but they will review it. Looked legal to me.
Yeah, looked like it got beyond 10 yards. But the switch at the last moment, the change of direction, was the problem for Cincy. They weren't expecting it. They didn't have a backup unit of guys in that area to recover. They had to run a long way to get in position, and Navy recovered it.
Well, you and I have already been at a game this year, Oregon at Stanford, where the win probability at one point was 99.9%, and it turned out the 0.1% was the winning side.
Yeah.
I mean, this one was darn close. The 2 penalties against Cincinnati, they had an interception wiped out with a roughing the passer, then a pass interference. Navy got it in the end zone and now recovered the onside kick. We think this one will be confirmed. But this wasn't 99.9, but at one point it was 99.6.
Well, close enough. Listen, however this turns out, this has to be a moral victory for Navy, don't you think?
Oh, it's been a great performance by a team that has really struggled, gone through a lot of adversity. They've played like Navy today.
Yeah, this is more of what you expect out of Navy defensively, offensively, the fight, the spirit, not giving up, hanging on to the rope when they were down 17, getting the touchdown, getting this onside kick, and now they'll have the possibility with 48 seconds of making 1 or 2 throws at the end zone.
Yeah, you figure they probably want to get closer before they start taking those shots into the end zone, but you got the time to, if you can convert a pass or 2, to get in range where you can actually get it to the end zone.
Yeah, the thing they have to be careful about, though, is you don't want to try and work these corners. You know, you can't go 4 receivers and then try to work outside on Gardner and Bryant. They'll take the ball away from you. What they need to do is to try to work a slot receiver against the safeties or the nickelback.
This has taken a little while.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. 1st down, Navy.
Yeah, I mean, I thought so, but they took a real long look at it.
I don't know why it takes that long. You know, we love replay, but, you know, the pace, the momentum, it gets delayed when it takes that long to confirm a call.
So Navy had a chance to regroup. That did maybe an advantage a little bit for the momentum would be one thing. The flip side would be get organized with a couple of play calls here.
They should have a couple of plays ready to go.
No timeouts, only 48 seconds, but Luke Fickell and Cincinnati having to really sweat this one out.
Throw for a first down or an incompletion. You don't want to be short of the sticks. You want the clock to stop.
So Lavatai will drop back to pass, pressured immediately. He's going to pump fake and then takes a hit. So instead of throwing it away, he takes a sack essentially, and the clock winds.
Just inexperience. First down or throw it away. Incompletions.
And they're going to clock it now, so that costs him another down. It's 3rd and 10 here.
Yeah, you can't do that. He'll learn. You know, this is his first season as a starter. He will learn that you got to throw this ball away. You want a first down to stop the clock, or you want to throw the ball away to stop the clock. Can't get tackled.
So now 3rd and 10.
Again, you need a first down to stop the clock and then hurry to the line of scrimmage.
And if they get that first down, they're in the range where they could take a couple of shots. They throw, and it is intercepted by Cincinnati. And that at long last is going to do it. Arquan Bush came up with his 3rd interception of the game. And the Bearcats are going to get out of Annapolis with a hard-fought win. Navy gave them everything they wanted, but the interception will end it.
This secondary, man, I'm telling you,
they're good.
Really, really good. And this is not what Navy does really, really well. But defending the pass, Cincy does really, really well. There was never a window there. Bush ran the route better than Warren did.
So now Cincinnati will just take a knee. Victory formation can mean different things in different circumstances. For Cincinnati, a big exhale, I think. Highest ranking in school history. Blowout wins, total blowout wins the last 2 weeks. This game was much different.
Surviving and advancing. There'll be a lot of people critical that, hey, they didn't win by the margin of victory expected, but it's a win. They remain undefeated. You're going to have some games like this. They move on.
So Luke Fickell and Cincinnati stay undefeated. Great effort from the midshipmen, but they fall a touchdown short. The Bearcats win. The number 2 ranked team in the country gets a conference win over Navy. For Rod Gilmore, for Stormy Bonatoni, for Joe Taylor, for Mike Griffin, for our whole studio, Dave Fleming saying so long here from Annapolis. Great day of college football. A lot more still to come. Let's go to Kevin and Eric in studio.